Running extra distance is Lena Irby. But we have seen her come off with a lot of steam. But she doesn't have it today. Kendall Ellis will win the heat and establish the time to beat at 50-34.
Kendall Ellis got locked in a porta-potty just before the biggest race of her life. Most people would freak out, but she turned that bad moment into something amazing. In June 2024 at the U.S. Olympic Trials in Eugene, Oregon, it's less than an hour before the 400-meter semifinal, and Kendall Ellis is trapped inside a porta-potty. She was banging on the door, screaming for help. Her Olympic dream was about to start, and she was stuck in a bathroom.
Before the semifinals of my 400 at Olympic Trials in Oregon, I went to use the restroom, the porta potty, and the lock got jammed. And I was stuck in there for about 10 minutes, an hour before my race. And so once I was panicking and realizing I did not have a way to get out, I started banging on the door, calling for help, and thankfully a worker.
Somebody finally freed her, and what happened next shocked everyone. She didn't just run the race, she destroyed it. She ran 49.81 seconds, breaking her personal best for the first time in 6 years. 6 years! That's longer than most people stick with a New Year's resolution. But here's where the story gets even better. The next day, in the final, she did it again. This time, she ran even faster, crossing the finish line at 49.46 seconds. That's more than a third of a second faster than the day before. She won the race, became the national champion, and earned her ticket to the Paris Olympics. After the race, Kendall talked about that crazy porta-potty moment. She said, "Crazy things happen right before something great is about to occur. So maybe I needed that to get all the nerves and adrenaline out." Only a true champion could find the positive in getting locked in a bathroom before the most important race of the year. Now you might be wondering who Kendall Ellis is and why this comeback means so much. Let me tell you her story. Kendall is 28 years old and comes from Florida. She's not new to big stages. At the Tokyo 2020 Olympics, she won a gold medal in the women's 4x400 relay and a bronze medal in the mixed 4x400 relay. She's a 3-time NCAA champion, a 14-time All-American, and a 7-time Pac-12 champion. This woman knows how to win. But here's the thing, even though she had all those medals and achievements, people saw her as a relay specialist. That means she was known for running as part of a team, not by herself. And that bothered her because she knew she could do more. 3 years earlier at the 2021 Olympic Trials, Kendall finished 4th in the 400 meters. She lost by just 0.07 seconds. That tiny amount of time kept her from going to Tokyo for the individual race. She could only compete in the relays. Kendall talked about how that felt. She said, "I remember being so heartbroken, I'd have rather gotten 5th place or 6th. That might sound strange, but 4th place is the worst. You're so close to making it, but you don't. It's like watching the bus pull away right as you reach the stop." She continued, "But it was certainly a learning lesson, and coming into today, I told myself I did not want that feeling again." That heartbreak stuck with her for 3 years. It pushed her. It made her work harder, and in 2024, she was ready to prove everyone wrong. But wait, there's more to Kendall's story that makes her comeback even more special. To understand why people love her so much, we need to go back to 2018. She was at the college track meet at the NCAA Championships. Kendall was running the anchor leg of the 4x400 relay for the University of Southern California. When she gets the baton, her team was in 3rd place. She's 30 meters behind the leader. That's almost a third of a football field. The TV announcer basically called the race over. He said, "There's no way, unless they drop the baton, Purdue's going to win this." But Kendall didn't listen to that announcer. She just ran and ran and ran faster. Over that last stretch, she passed everyone and won the race for USC. The comeback was so incredible that even today, if you search for greatest track comebacks on the internet, Kendall's video from 2018 pops up near the top. When people asked her about that race, she explained her mindset. She said, "I wasn't listening to the announcer or anyone else. I'm always going to be optimistic about my chances. I mean, if I don't believe in me, then who else will?" That's the attitude that made her a mini legend in the track world. So now we're back at the 2024 Olympic Trials, and Kendall hasn't set a personal best since 2018. That's a long time to go without improving your best time. She's been working hard. running fast in practice. But something wasn't clicking in the big races until that porta-potty incident changed everything. When reporters asked what was different this time, Kendall said something really important. She explained, "Just believing in myself truly. The workouts haven't changed, the results in practice haven't changed. But finally, something clicked up here that says, you can do it, you can go out with the best of them, and you can finish better than anyone else." So just really believing and committing to that belief in the very first step. Her training was the same. Her coach was the same. Her body was the same. The only thing that changed was her mind. She finally believed she could win, and that belief made all the difference. In that final, all three women who made the Olympic team ran personal bests and broke 50 seconds. Aaliyah Butler finished second with 49.71 seconds, and Alexis Holmes took third with 49.78 seconds. But Kendall was the champion. Her race strategy was simple. She said, "It was just replicating what I did yesterday and just doing it better." No fancy tricks, no secret plans, just run fast and believe in yourself. The story gets even more fun when we jump ahead to the Paris Olympics. Remember that porta-potty incident? Well, Charmin, the toilet paper company, thought it was hilarious. They decided to sponsor Kendall right before her Olympic semifinal in Paris. She announced it on social media with the perfect tagline, "From backside to trackside." People loved it. It was genius marketing and showed that Kendall could laugh at herself even under pressure.
You know, as an athlete, I'm very regimented. So being overseas, I'm doing my best to replicate my routine from back home. And since you never know what type of toilet paper to expect when you're traveling, I'm so thankful for Charmin, who's rolling with me out here in Paris to provide the smoothest home away from home experience. And given my history with bathrooms ahead of a competition, I'm grateful to Charmin for taking away any bathroom worries caused by subpar toilet paper. Charmin Ultra Soft Smooth Tears got me covered from backside to trackside.
At the Paris Olympics, Kendall was competing in the individual 400 meters, not just the relays. This was her chance to prove she wasn't just a relay specialist. She was a real threat to win an individual medal. And she delivered. Kendall Ellis won the silver medal in the 400 meters at the 2024 Paris Olympics. After years of being seen as just a relay runner, after the heartbreak of finishing fourth in 2021, after 6 years without a personal best, she finally got her individual Olympic medal. The whole journey shows what's possible when you refuse to give up on yourself. Kendall had every reason to think her best days were behind her. She was 28 years old in a sport where people peak in their early 20s. She hadn't improved her time in 6 years. She was known as a relay specialist, not an individual star. But she kept working. She kept believing. And when the moment came, even after getting trapped in a porta-potty, she was ready. Kendall's favorite color is gold, which makes sense for someone who's won Olympic gold. Her sports hero is Allison Felix because, as she says, she is great at everything she does. And now, Kendall has joined that same group of athletes who inspire others. From a heartbroken fourth-place finisher to an Olympic silver medalist. From a relay specialist to an individual champion. From locked in a porta-potty to standing on an Olympic podium. That's the Kendall Ellis story. And it proves that your biggest comeback can happen when you least expect it. What if I told you that right now, tiny sensors smaller than a coin can see things about your body that even the best coaches can't? They can tell you're about to get injured before you feel any pain. Sounds like science fiction, right? Well, it's happening today, and it's changing everything about how athletes train. For thousands of years, athletes trained the same way. They ran, they jumped, they threw things. Coaches watched with their eyes and used stopwatches. That was it. If you got injured, well, that's just what happened. Nobody knew why. Nobody could predict it. Training was basically guessing and hoping for the best. But everything started changing in the late 1800s when someone invented the stopwatch. Suddenly, coaches could measure time perfectly. They could track if you were getting faster or slower. This one simple tool created a revolution. For the first time ever, training became scientific. Coaches could make plans based on real numbers, not just feelings. Then computers arrived, and sports would never be the same again. In the second half of the 1900s, electronic timing systems replaced those old stopwatches. These new systems were incredibly accurate. They could measure time down to tiny fractions of a second. This helped athletes and coaches understand performance in ways they never could before. But even that was just the beginning. The real game changer came with wearable technology. Suddenly, athletes could wear small devices that tracked everything. Heart rate monitors told you how hard your heart was working. GPS trackers showed exactly where you ran and how fast. Accelerometers measured every single movement your body made. All of this information came in real time, meaning athletes could see what was happening to their bodies right in that moment. Now, here's the part that makes this technology truly special. These devices don't just collect information, they actually help athletes get better while keeping them safe. The data shows training intensity, which means athletes know if they're pushing too hard or not hard enough. It reveals biomechanics, which is just a fancy word for how your body moves, and it tracks recovery, telling athletes when their body is ready to train hard again and when they need to rest. Think about what this means. Before these sensors, an athlete might train too hard and get injured without knowing why. Or they might not train hard enough and wonder why they're not improving. Now, they have answers. They have data. They have science on their side. But wait, it gets even better. Recently, something even more powerful has emerged. It's called data analytics, and when you combine it with sports, magic happens. Data analytics means taking all those numbers and information from the sensors and finding patterns. Let me give you a real example. At St. Mary's University, the golf team started using this technology. The sensors gave the golfers data about every single swing. They could see exactly what their body was doing. The technology helped them perfect their techniques in ways that were impossible before. Coaches could look at the data and say, "Hey, your hip moves this way right before you swing, and that's causing problems. Let's fix that specific thing." This is where machine learning comes in. Now, I know machine learning sounds complicated, but it's actually simple. It's when computers look at massive amounts of data and find patterns that humans would never notice. Coaches and analysts use these smart computer programs to sift through thousands and thousands of numbers. The computer finds trends, reveals patterns, and gives insights that change how athletes train. Here's something that might surprise you. This technology isn't just helping athletes, it's also making sports more fun for fans like you and me. Instant replay lets us see amazing moments over and over. Augmented reality, or AR, adds cool digital information to what we're watching. Virtual reality can make us feel like we're right there on the field with the athletes. You can now enjoy a live game from your couch and feel closer to the action than ever before. Sports have become more accessible and way more entertaining. And guess what? This is just getting started. Scientists are working on even more advanced technology right now. Biometrics and new wearable sensors promise to push human performance to levels we've never seen. The possibilities seem endless. Imagine training programs designed perfectly for each individual athlete. Imagine virtual reality experiences so real that fans feel like they're standing on the track next to Usain Bolt. That's where we're headed, but hold on. Before we get too excited, we need to talk about something important. With all this amazing technology comes some serious questions. When athletes use performance-enhancing technology, is that fair? Does it hurt the honesty of sports? What makes sports valuable in the first place? These aren't easy questions to answer. As technology gets better and better, the line between human and machine gets blurry. Some people worry that sports might lose something important, something human. That's why experts say we must keep certain values at the heart of athletics. Respect, sportsmanship, and fair play need to stay as the foundation. No matter how good the technology gets, these principles must remain for future generations. Sports should always be about human achievement, effort, and character. Now let's talk about the newest and most exciting technology that's changing athletics right now. Researchers have created something called a CNNLSTM model. Don't worry about the complicated name. What matters is what it does. They built a wearable sensor system based on this model, and it's incredible. The sensor captures data about 3 parts of your leg: your hip, your knee, and your ankle. It measures the angle and how fast these joints move while you're walking or running. Scientists studied 4 muscles in the left leg using this system. They compared the sensor data to a method called OpenSim static optimization, which is basically a trusted way to calculate muscle strength. The experiments showed something amazing. This CNN-LSTM model worked better than older technology. It was more robust, which means it worked well even when conditions changed. When people walked at different speeds, the model still gave accurate information. The data didn't jump around as much, it stayed steady and reliable. They even tested it on people who weren't part of the original study, and it still worked great. That's called generalization, and it's really important. It means this technology works for different people in different situations, not just in perfect lab conditions. But here's a challenge. These sensors create so much information that the computers struggle to process it all quickly. That's where scientists like God and his team come in. They created a lightweight version of the CNNLS-TM model. Lightweight means it uses less computer power, but still works really well. This new lightweight model can handle data from all kinds of movements: walking, running, jumping, squatting, and more. The best part? It uses way less energy. This matters because sensors need battery power, and nobody wants their sensor dying in the middle of training. There are still some problems when dealing with extremely complicated data, but scientists are working on solutions. Another researcher named Afroj did something really clever. He used something called Zero Power RFID technology in fabric wearable sensors. RFID is like the technology in those security tags on clothes in stores, but much more advanced. This technology improved how well the sensors work. It enables real-time data processing, which means the information is analyzed instantly. Athletes can monitor their movements on devices that don't need a lot of power. There's even a concept for smart clothing knitted with special graphene textile sensors. Graphene is an incredibly thin, strong material. These smart clothes could monitor everything about your body's health. They could send all that data to your phone using either a self-powered RFID device or a Bluetooth device that barely uses any battery. Looking ahead, AI will help overcome current limitations and expand where we can use these sensors. Material innovation should focus on nanomaterials, biomass materials, and smart polymers that perform better than anything we have now. Scientists want to create composite materials that can heal themselves and conduct electricity. These would last longer and work better in difficult conditions. They're also developing biodegradable sensors from biomass materials to reduce environmental pollution and work for single-use situations. The future also involves exploring how AI and multiple sensors can work together. When different sensors complement each other, they improve adaptability and accuracy in various complex environments. Through hardware development and multimodal data fusion algorithms, like early or late fusion strategies based on deep learning, different types of sensor data can be integrated effectively. Attention mechanisms can automatically learn which features matter most in the data and assign them different importance levels. This improves both accuracy and robustness. From ancient wooden clubs and leather balls to high-tech wearable technology and data analytics, the journey of sports technology has been one of continuous innovation. Athletes today have tools that would seem like magic to athletes from just 20 years ago. They can see inside their own bodies, predict injuries before they happen, and optimize every single training session with scientific precision. The combination of technology and sports continues to define the future of athletics, creating opportunities and advancements for everyone involved in sports.
Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment and going away. Gay trying to go with him and he's being dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. 9.58, the world record's gone.
A man runs 100 meters in 9.58 seconds. That's faster than a car driving through your neighborhood. For over 15 years, nobody has come close to this time. But 60 years ago, the world's fastest men were running almost half a second slower. What changed? And how close are we to reaching the absolute limit of human speed? Let's start at the beginning. The first official 100-meter world record happened in 1912. An American runner named Donald Lippincott ran it in 10.6 seconds. For the next 50 years, people used stopwatches to time these races. They only measured to 1/10 of a second, not the tiny hundredths we use today. This changed in 1977 when automatic timing became the rule. Suddenly, we could see exactly how fast these men were running. But here's something amazing. In 1936, Jesse Owens set a world record of 10.2 seconds. Nobody beat that time for 20 full years. 20 years! Today, high school kids run faster than that. Owens also did something incredible in 1935 at a college meet in Michigan. In just 45 minutes, he set world records in 4 different events. People still call it the greatest 45 minutes in sports history. Now let's jump to the 1960s. This is where our story really begins. In 1960, a German runner named Armin Harry became the first person to run exactly 10.0 seconds. Not 10.1, not 10.2, just 10.0. Everyone wondered the same thing. Could someone break through the 10-second barrier?
Diesmal schoss der Starter so rasch, dass Harry optimal aus den Blöcken kam. Zweimal 10,0 und einmal 10,1 zeigten die Uhren und machten damit Armin Harry offiziell zum schnellsten Mann der Welt.
The answer came in 1968. Jim Hines from the United States ran 9.9 seconds in June. Then at the Mexico City Olympics that same year, he ran 9.95 seconds with automatic timing.